As I'm trying to get rid of seeds, people are giving me seeds, y'all. I was looking for this pencil earlier because that's just who I am, y'all. Hello, welcome to Yellow Door Urban Homestead. I am Asia, and I'm an urban gardener growing in a small space out in my backyard. Y'all, it's 30-some degrees today, so you know we inside. But it's not one of our weeks to start seeds for the spring and the summer, so we're gonna get some hydroponics grow systems set up. And I actually decided I'm setting them all up because why not? January and February are our coldest months here. I am in Virginia Zone 7B. I think tonight we're down to like 23. The day has only been like 30 something. So why not get this done? Here's the thing. So I was saying I wasn't gonna set these up, right? But then I started thinking about my goals. One of my goals is herbs. I wanna preserve herbs for a full year in 2026. So we're gonna see how that goes. Anyway, these are not our herb planters. These are gonna be lettuce, bunching onions. So basically I can have green onions in the house. There's also gonna be tomatoes in here, and there's also gonna be peppers in here. I can grow all of that in here. And there is so many other things that you can grow in here. However, I don't have a lot of space and I don't have a trellising method. For me, I'm just not gonna worry about that. But let me tell you what we are gonna plant in these, and then I'm gonna show you my other one, and that's where the herbs are gonna go. And the reason why I plant the herbs in there is because I can't move the lights up and down. Basil and cilantro grew so well in there. So I'm gonna do basil and cilantro again, but I'm also going to add some other herbs and see if I can get those started. And if I'm lucky, if you watch The Everyday Life of a OCDish chick, she starts seeds inside in her hydroponics and she moves them outside. So I'm also gonna give that a try this year with the herbs that we start in the one in the living room, which I will show you. First, let's talk about what's going in each one of these. The first thing is gonna be bunching onions, and these are seeds from Greenstock. They came with one of my purchases. Tennis ball lettuce. Never grown this before. Someone gave me a whole bunch of seeds. As I'm trying to get rid of seeds, people are giving me seeds, y'all. That is funny, but I'm not keeping them all. I'm keeping things that like I'd be interested in growing, or things I grow now and I like them, or things that I just haven't seen before and I'm like, ooh, I want to try that. We're gonna try rough wood bistro bronze lettuce. Literally have never had that before, but it has a buttery texture, and y'all know I love Bib butterhead lettuce. So we're gonna be also doing that. And then Lolo Rosa lettuce. Never tasted that, but it is pretty. So we're gonna put that in both of these. And then for our larger plants, we're gonna do a patio choice tomato yellow. That's over here. And you know I'm not planning to do a lot of cherry tomatoes in the garden this year. So we're gonna put those in there. And then I just really love Jimmy Nardello peppers. So we're gonna try to grow Jimmy Nardello on this side. In case you have never seen these, they are hydroponic grow systems. And inside of them, there's water. I already put my water in. And then you have these little sponges. And so when you purchase one, the sponges come with it and they drop down into this little cup. This is gonna be your grow medium. This is where you're gonna plant your seeds. Those sponges have little holes and you just drop your seeds down in there. Those sponges sit in water, and inside of this, there's a filter. So the water is not just sitting stagnant. There's a filter that is moving the water around. So I like that part. These light systems, they really stretch. They go pretty high. See how tall that is? So you can grow a nice sized plant in here. And if you have a trellising system, or you can come up with something for trellising, then you can really grow a nice sized plant in here. One of mine came with these. I was looking for this pencil earlier. One of mine came with these, right? So for my peppers and tomatoes, I am gonna plant the pepper or the tomato here. And then I'm going to leave these open. With that, I'm just gonna cover it with one of these. And I'll have to take the white thing out. I just wanted to have it set up so you all could see. Just because tomatoes and peppers are all going to get bushy. But in order to hold it up, I'm going to attempt to use these. I've never used them before, but I know this is what they're for. So I'll just stick these in here around the plant as it grows, and it should kind of hold it into place where it's supposed to be. All 4 of these will not be used. I'll only be using this one to plant the tomato or the pepper in. And then everything else will have something else in it. So the same up here, we won't be planting these 4. We'll only be planting 1 because we want to be able to support the tomato, because I have done it before without leaving space, and most of the things around it, they don't really grow well anyway, just because the tomato leaves and the pepper leaves will shade it. So we're just gonna plant here and here. With that being said, in order to keep the light out, we're gonna put these into the holes. And then we're gonna plant our tomato here. These should help to hold the tomato up. I may have to add string or something, but I'm fine with that. Like I said, it's my first year deciding to do it this way. So we will see what happens. If you're not new here, you know I'ma see what happens, girl. This one is actually for the pepper. The tomatoes are gonna go in that one right there. These will keep the light off of the water so that you don't get a lot of algae. And then going down this middle row, this is where we're gonna put our bunch of onions. And then on the outsides of that, we are going to do lettuce. I think that's gonna work well. And I did write this out and I did plan this out because that's just who I am, y'all. So we are going to put our Jimmy Nardello in this one. And now this particular system is self-watering. I guess that's what you can call it. You can put a bottle or a jug up under it, and you got this piping that you put into the bottle or the jug. When water is needed, it'll pull it from the bottle or the jug. This one is not self-watering. You can, however, use the app for both of them. That's what I'll do. And because these seeds are a little bit old, I am gonna put 2 seeds into each one, and then I will thin it out because I only want to grow 1 in each of these little sponges. So it's really simple, no mess, no fuss, because there's no soil, but you just drop it down in there. Uh-oh, I just dropped that seed to the side. Well, it's in there now, too bad. If it sprouts, that would be cool too. I feel like the roots would still grow down into the sponge. We got both of those planted. And before you put your sponges in here, it's a good idea to just let them sit in water for like 5 minutes. It really doesn't take that long. That way they will already be down in the water. If you put them in here and they're not wet, they're gonna float for a few minutes until it can soak up water. It's just easier that way. You definitely don't have to soak them. I most times do not soak them. I was trying to get ready for this video, and so I soaked them. Now, we're gonna put some of the white lesbian bunching onions right down this middle row. And I'm probably gonna drop like 2 to 4 seeds into each one of these because bunching onions can grow together. So those are onion seeds, and all 6 of these are gonna be bunching onions. Thing is, I can preserve these. I can dry them, freeze dry them, or dehydrate them. Or I could put them in oil or butter in the freezer. I'm okay with having a bunch of these. And this particular system has 21 planting spaces, which is why I decided to do larger plants like peppers in them, because I would still have space for other things. I want to make sure I mention that you can literally mix this up. You can plant all kinds of things in hydroponics grow systems. Tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, I mean, like all kinds of things. It would be probably less messy to plant like small or miniature varieties, but you can plant normal size varieties as long as you have the ability to control that in your home, or, you know, you don't mind. We're gonna go with the red lettuce on the outside. Looks like it gets pretty big. I'm going in with like 3 seeds, and I am gonna come back and thin, and we'll follow this. So we only have 1 over here because, forgot to mention, if you do need to add water for whatever reason, you decide you don't want to use the self-watering, that is what this is for. So you could just pull this out and pour your water in. But also, I'm gonna tell you right now, I do not use that. Seems like a lot of work. You can just pick this up and do it too. But once the roots start to grow, it's gonna be a lot of roots up under there. So we're gonna drop that down in there, and you just put it down into the little hole. And the date on most of these seeds that the person gave me is 2021. So it's a possibility that I might not get any germination. If that is the case, we will come back and sow again. And then we are going to go ahead and finish this one off with these cute little tennis ball lettuce. I think they so cute. I never grown them before. This is a 2022 seed packet. We're just gonna do 3 for all of them. We're gonna plant in 4 of the holes for this with 3 seeds. And I don't actually have any lettuce in the garden right now. This will really come in handy. Lettuce doesn't really hold up well in the cold, at least the varieties I planted. They didn't hold up well in the cold. So with that being said, we have no lettuce. Also, we're gonna take these out for now. I just wanted to show y'all my plan. We wanna have the light as close as we can. That way they will grow and they'll actually be pretty sturdy and healthy. So we're gonna do it that close and we're gonna turn the lights on. I'm gonna show y'all where I'm putting these and somebody gonna be like, girl, what? But I am running out of space, but also I still want all the things. So the next thing I want to talk about is the fertilizer. These systems have their own fertilizers, right? And they come with bottles about this big. And when you have grown in them for more than once, you have to find other fertilizers. I went on Amazon and I was able to find this last year, and that is your base A and this is your base B. They are not organic. When I grow in the house, however, I don't really worry about the organic part or the natural part of it just because I don't know how easy it is to find that. Now, what I will tell you is someone told me that this was good for the hydroponics grow systems. This is Fox Farm. It's what I am fertilizing my seedlings with right now. I am going to try this in one of them, and I'm going to continue to use this in 2 of them. And I will see how the growth is. If this is better, then yay. I found something that is organic to use in the hydroponics grow systems. But for now, we're just going to use what we have been using and then trial this. And I have not put any of this in any of the hydroponics grow systems, but it does give you the directions on the back. All right, so now we're going to switch over to the smaller hydroponics grow system. This has 12, to which I do plan to put a tomato back here. So with that being said, we are going to take these 3 out. This is just my choice. You don't have to do this. I've just found that if you put a large plant back here that's very leafy, it's just gonna shade this stuff out. That's what I have found. Same over here. We're gonna take these 3 out. So technically, we are gonna be growing tomatoes, and then we are gonna grow maybe some lettuce in here, and we won't worry about the bunch of onions. And we have, like I said, the patio choice tomato. There's only 20 seeds in here, I think. So we went ahead and put the tomatoes back here. I don't think I grabbed enough of the black things. I have to go downstairs to close these up. And then I'm just gonna drop some more of the Bibb Butterhead lettuce because that is my favorite. Lettuce grows really well in these. All right, I don't think I planted that one. Well, we'll put some more seeds in there. We'll just have to thin. Okie dokie. And so another thing that these come with are these little cups. And they are to help with the germination. So wherever you have seeds, you can just sit these little cups on it. And they kind of act as humidity domes. So if you were using a 10-20 tray and you put a humidity dome on, that's essentially what they act as. Just like that. So you can reuse these white cups. They do not recommend that you reuse the sponges. Now, I will tell you, you can go on Amazon, find the sponges, and the price may be a little bit cheaper. You will have to replace the sponges unless you choose to reuse them, but I've never reused mine. Now we're just gonna put our cups on, and then I'm gonna show y'all where I plan. I probably should have put the cups on after. Well, we'll see how the transport goes when I show y'all where they're actually going to live for the next few months. And we'll follow these. I'll definitely make sure I give y'all updates. They grow really well though, y'all. So let me show y'all where I plan to put them. So I had 2 extra chairs when I had to buy a new table for the kitchen. So I decided I would bring these chairs in here beside the other hydroponics grow system, and they could live here for the next few months. And it would be kind of cute in the living room. We'll have some greenery in the living room, but they're gonna live right here in these chairs. And once they grow big, you won't even be able to see the back of the chair. It looked like a table. Y'all don't judge me, but I just think it would be cute because this is also going to have items in it. Oh, let me show you what I plan to grow in here. So we're gonna do chives in here, garlic chives, oregano, sage, rosemary, thyme, Italian basil. Basil did really good in this one last year. And coriander or cilantro also did really good in here last year. My plan is this is not gonna be up all year long. I don't do indoor growing and outdoor growing all year long. When it is really time to ramp up outside, these will come down. My hope is that the herbs in here have grown really well and I can move them outside. We're not gonna plant this together today. It's pretty much the same thing, but this is why I'm doing herbs in here instead of the larger plants, because these lights don't move. They stay right where they are. Just like that. I can harvest the herbs really easily and keep them a decent size in here as opposed to a tomato or a pepper. So this is where my hydroponics grow systems are going to live this year. Let me show you the bottle or a jug that I was telling you you can put this one on. So right down here, I just have a Canada Dry jug that my son had soda in, and you just take this little cord and push it down in here. Once you plug it in, it's going to read to this system. Let me show you. The system will know how much water is in here, and then once it runs out, it'll start to pull from the jug. Anywho, I really do like to grow in hydroponics, and normally if I wasn't already tired from all the other things I was doing, these would have been set up a long time ago. So that's the hydroponics for this season. And actually, I kind of like it right here. We don't really use this TV, but yeah, I kind of like it right here. Everything will be in one space and it'll kind of look like we have some greenery. So I love that. I use the space that I have, y'all. So anyway, that's the video for the day. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to visit me over on Instagram, where I post about the things going on in my garden almost every day. Bye, y'all.